Okay, welcome to the January 2020, amazing, new decade, Conservation Commission meeting. I'm Steve Najar, the Vice Chair. I'm going to be chairing this one. Andy is out sick. And so got Mike to my left, Sherry, and Bill. So with that, we are, first off, does anybody want to volunteer to take minutes?
I prefer not to, only because I haven't had any rest here. I've been up since 4 going.
We're going to have to do short straw. Bring some straws. My minutes are really
I
short.
can do it if I don't have a pen and paper. Yeah.
Sold.
Somebody will find it.
Initiative right there.
All right. Good deal. So, no, I don't have a pen, but
Vice Chair, this is for selectmen. Do you want us just to use
just
this?
scribble it out and put constantly. I got a candy cane in my pocket, no pens. So, hey, what's going on? Are you going to be really quick? Because we can get you up first.
Super quick.
Okay, come on up. Introduce yourself.
Did you get warning that I was coming?
I saw the email, yeah.
Okay, so Lisa Purington-Grolian. I'm actually a spare on this committee, but just wondering about Berry Conservation Camp for my daughter. I know that in the past there have been scholarships. So I called them and left a message. I don't know how much it is now, but I was wondering if there's any possibility of some support.
Yeah, sure.
Or how that works.
Well, in the past, we just, I think it's pretty much been Andy's daughter, and they just asked for an amount, and I can't honestly tell you what the amount was.
I don't remember. I thought it was like $200 or $300.
It's usually $250 or $300 or
Yeah,
something.
that's what
Yeah.
I thought, 200 to 300 in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, a minute?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, and I just figured.
What are they? Oh, that.
Naomi.
Okay.
Good, how are you?
So did you change that one?
Yeah, it's struck through in bold.
Okay,
Bold is new, struck through is old.
thanks.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You get an
So
amount?
I was just wondering what historically you'd done because I didn't remember.
We don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to ask for up to 250 or 300.
Well, I think what we did is, how hard would it be for your daughter
Yeah.
to come in and do her presentation?
She would definitely be willing to do that.
That's what Andy started at.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
she did that twice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did it twice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We could definitely work on that. So have her come in
Yeah, I would think that
and
would be
present
appropriate.
next
Sounds
month.
good. Yeah, just find out what the timelines are for
Okay.
conservation camp,
Yeah, I
getting
have a
that all-
message in, so I'm hoping they'll get back to me.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
cool.
All right. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. I have to run. I'm picking up kids for basketball, but thank you.
Have fun. See you later. Good seeing you. Okay, I guess Jeremy stepped out.
Just ready to make a couple copies.
All right.
How's everybody's holidays?
Good,
Pretty good. Over.
busy.
I know, that's how I feel.
I'm always glad when they're over.
I like Thanksgiving.
It's
Yeah.
for little kids.
It is.
It's not for,
We got a 3-year-old granddaughter, so
right,
it's fun.
yeah, she's same age as little D, yeah.
Other than that, it's another day. I like the music, actually.
Yeah.
I listened to it for a month on
And that's enough.
Sirius Radio.
Jim, Jerry, you guys are up.
Oh, hey.
Want to do forestry or survey first?
Yeah, let's do forestry first.
Okay.
So I got handouts for you guys, like always. Quarterly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 20th quarterly update.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 20. Oh, and it's 2020. Pretty exciting. All right, so, lots of activity last year since since we last met in April. Most notably were the timber sale projects that we conducted. The first this spring in, up at Woods Conservation Area. And that went very well. There was a tremendous amount of cooperation with stakeholders of New Hampshire Heritage, Natural Heritage Bureau, and the TNC, and PLC, and UNH Cooperative Extension, and Ware, Parks and Recreation. So a lot of stakeholders, and as far as I'm concerned, I think it went all really well from all those standpoints of interaction and communication. So, and that is complete, and you guys, I don't know if any of you have seen the road up there now, but it's been quite a capital improvement for the town.
Which one?
Woods
Oh.
Interior Road. So that's, and then, there's a net stumpage for you guys of over 22 grand on that one. And I think we budgeted 20 grand, so we got a little pleasant surprise there. So about 120 acres, and they were there from May to July. And 30% of it was saw timber, and about 70% of it was low grade. Jim was helping out tremendously on that, and was on the ground quite a bit to follow through on that with the world begonia and all that globally rare management over there. Felch Farm came up this summer. That started in July, and that we treated just right around 200 acres on that. That was that's another one where the interior road, unreal capital improvement. I don't remember the volume of stone that was brought there either, but great upgrade on the road system in there, and we netted on that just under 100,000 in stumpage to you guys, which was about 2 grand below what I forecasted, so it all worked out somehow. So yeah, a lot of activity from the income side last fall, or summer and spring. And then we completed our invasive management sort of routine management and monitoring, mainly focusing on Eastman this year, and where was the other? Mainly on Woods with the winged euonymus. We held off on the treatment areas, especially like Felch. That's got a ton of bittersweet along the road system, so rather than do any pre-treatment there before they made a disturbance, we're just gonna chase it this summer when, everything's been relaxed.
What are you gonna do to it? Spray it or cut it out?
Yeah, we're gonna cut and dab probably most of it.
Which one? One more time on which species, which place?
Oh, bittersweet,
Bittersweet.
In which place though?
Felch.
Felch, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because my mind just tracked on Woods with the euonymus that's in
I
there.
know, yeah, so that's getting in good shape actually over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then of course we've got the melon survey, which was another pretty big project, especially from a cost perspective. And to my understanding, that is complete. I know Woods-wise, we've been on the ground, and all the work that we paid for has been done. In terms of setting monuments and temporarily getting that center line all set up for follow-up permanent blaze, sign, and paint. So we're in good shape there to move on that. But all the groundwork for the easement is complete, and it's just a matter of, if we want to look at that survey together and verify the plat, and then you guys can approve or do whatever you want to do for final payment to Mellon.
Jeremy, when you talk about 70% low grade, 65% low grade, what is that? Is it, you're talking this is chips or?
Yeah, good question. So on the Woods timber sale, that was, the 70% low grade was all roundwood, so no chips. That was all firewood or roundwood paper pulp.
Okay,
So, and then on Felch, with the biomass market collapsing, only about 30% of the low grade was chipped on that project, which is drastically different than historically. A lot of times that's upwards of 70 to 80%. So, you know, the substitution of product occurred, and then a lot of that went into roundwood too. A lot of firewood and pulpwood, roundwood pulp.
So what do you know with the pine tops? Because it's historically hard to get rid of those in the woods. Just
No, so they've modified their manufacturing on the landing, and you know, a lot of the brush and tops and stuff they do, you know, continue to chip, but then they produce as much roundwood as they can. But because the contraction and they could only move so much, we were working with them, which we do on other jobs anyway, in different systems, to make a lot of structural enhancements out in the woods where we deliberately put brush piles and large structure in creative areas for cover and biological kind of interesting components to put on into the working landscape. So brush piles, large woody debris, and intentional placements throughout, and you can walk around out there, and it's really neat. It's kind of a new kind of approach to shifting, you know, adaptive management, really. So, but from a income standpoint, I think with the roundwood substitution, you did a lot, you know, probably were advantageous from an income standpoint because of that was going to a little bit higher value product. So, any other questions on the harvesting part? All right, so on that Collins Ledge survey, easement survey, it is complete on the ground. Survey has been created, it's been recorded, and all the center line work is done on the ground. So, the post-survey, you know, I think we've talked about it, but it's just a matter of getting out there and blazing and painting and signing that before that temporary stuff goes away. So I did prepare a forestry agreement for that if we want to move ahead with that. I thought also I can prepare it. You guys one of us should just let the Forest Society know, you know, that we've followed through, and I don't know how you want to handle that, but just a notice that, you know, in spirit of,
Would you send them an invoice?
you know, I wouldn't, I guess we could talk about that.
No, I'm picking on them.
Yeah, right. Steve would.
yeah, I'm not real amused with them. but
Yeah.
Just because they threatened us.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
I got a legal review on that, so they've got no right to make us. We don't have to use their monitoring system. Don't have to be on their schedule. They can pound sand.
Oh, really? Yeah. No
Oh
kidding.
yeah, because they were threatening us like it was abandoned easement. And they had good luck with that going to court on that one.
Yeah.
Not a good way to go.
No.
So
Jeremy, you just said a forestry plan at Collins?
Forestry service agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys, you know, want us to move forward and blaze and paint like we've done on the other 35 miles of boundary.
didn't we already do that for this or no? Did we just decide to not give it to? our
Yeah, we talked
surveyor?
about, we got a price from Mellon and,
Yeah.
yeah, so we just said we'd do it in-house and,
I think we should move on with that, just to finish up that project. Cause that marking is all out there and ready to go. You don't
It's
wanna
fresh
lose
in
it.
everybody's mind.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
right time, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we absolutely ought to knock
5 years
that out.
out, nobody's gonna remember.
Well, plus
Alright,
there'll
well.
be some stakes, right, between the monuments. Did they where there were longer distances
Yeah, they,
to their
they,
flag or
they did
stake?
that sort of aerosol type paint, so in
Yeah.
between the corners.
Photos if you'd like to see.
I'm all right, because nobody on the TV is gonna be able to see it or anything.
Sure.
That
Yeah,
was kinda,
so, that
I
yeah,
can email you photos, you can send them whatever you like.
I'm good. And you guys have yellow blazes all, or whatever, what are we going?
we've
Yellow.
been, historically been doing yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Yep,
Pretty good.
and we got all these nice signs, we got a pile up, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think, okay,
That'll be good, Jim, just when everything's blazed up, man.
yep,
It's basically painted like it was blazed right now. They painted it with orange spray paint, but
Yeah.
it's basically like you'd see a normal forestry blazing and painter operation. It's just done exactly the same way, except they just did it with aerosol.
Yeah, so that wouldn't last. All right, so we've got a proposal to, so the, obviously the deposit at time of signing of this agreement isn't gonna happen.
not with a, no,
Um, well, you're taking them minutes, but, so we've got, a proposal to go ahead and blaze got a few different,
do you want me to read one of them out loud, or?
yeah, why don't you do it? Instead of me bumbling through. Yeah, Mike's got it, cause he's doing the minutes.
So what this is just following through on a service of providing boundary maintenance work, of blazing, painting, and signing the entire easement project that was just surveyed. It's a pretty standard thing we've done with you guys for all the properties, and, so we basically go, and this number, for the work is $2,400 to do that whole project plus paint, and I think Mellon's was 32 or 4, or so, it was quite a bit higher, so, so what we do is probably this winter, we'd go out and get all that blazed, so it'd be physically axed and blazed, and then after the growing season, probably in August or September, once the trees dry out, maybe this fall, we'd get it all painted. So, we'd blaze and sign it this right away, and then have that to paint at a later date, once the wounds are dry. And I did, with this agreement, if you look right underneath the title agreement, I did, use that nomenclature you guys asked for. So the
Yeah.
year -001, so this is the first agreement, and I'm pretty sure this is for the conservation fund.
It is, yeah.
Okay. And so all the invoicing will reference that for Beth. And so she knows it's coming out of the, right fund, and you guys also are aware of that.
So you've got 24 plus paint. Paint's about $50 a gallon from Nelson,
Yeah,
maybe plus shipping.
yeah.
How many gallons? We got
If we put it right to it, it'd be well under 4.
4. So the actual, someone would have to motion like an up to number, maybe like
Up to 3,000.
Not to exceed something.
yeah, I mean, 2,800 is probably gonna do it.
Do you need a motion for that, Steve?
Yeah, as long as we're confident on the number. Does that
Yeah.
sound about right?
Yeah, it's,
Yellow paint doesn't go as far as the red stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think 4 gallons is gonna do it.
I'd make a motion to, do the blazing and painting and as the proposal's written, for a maximum of $2,800.
And authorize me to sign it. And authorize me to sign it?
And authorize Steve to sign it.
Second?
Okay, motion's made and second. Mike, you pretty much got that?
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
That was unanimous, so we're all set. Borrow your pen, sure.
Who do you want?
Your pen.
Oh, sure. I have one question while he's signing that. Have you got a breakdown of the board feet of each species that you took off?
Yeah.
Is that something, and what you what you what you pay for that board footage? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we got all that accounting, and we mail it out to you guys every single month with a check.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't know where
haven't
that
seen it.
goes.
I don't know, I don't think I've ever seen one.
It's a pretty powerful, I mean, it's very transparent, it tells
Yeah,
everything.
I guess we keep
yeah, I'm
one.
sure, I'm just kinda
Yep.
curious, that was all.
Yeah, I wonder where that goes. When we send our stumpage payment out and all the accounting and reporting and
Well,
measurements.
Finance.
Beth must have it.
Finance.
Stayers.
Yeah. You got copies of everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, Beth must, she must have it, 'cause we've never seen it.
Just curious, that was all.
Well, we only have her forwarded to us.
Yeah, yeah, she could do that.
So do you wanna have any action on notifying Spineff, or do you wanna wait till it's all painted, or do you wanna do it now, or who do you want to do it? I'm happy to just,
No, I mean, I'll just send them a quick email once we,
Okay.
when we have a plat number. Do we have one yet? It's not filed, is it?
yeah, he recorded it the last day of the month.
Oh, so there's really nothing to look at here then. So do we know what the number is? It wouldn't be on this unless he put it on there. Registry of Deeds will give it
Right,
when you get down there,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
wouldn't think he'd
yeah.
know.
unless he transcribes something on there, but. So, what I'd like to do with those is take them, make a copy for our records, and then get you back the originals. 'Cause I'm pretty sure there's just one.
Yeah, I don't think we're really even gonna, I mean, our paper situation is pretty dismal. I don't even know where everything went. Might be downstairs.
Oh, from upstairs, and
Yeah,
it moved?
yeah. So I mean, as long as it's in the Hillsborough County Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
um,
All right, anything else with that?
Yeah, the only thing that jumps out at me, I guess it kinda, unless I'm missing something, he didn't really do a locus or anything, or did he? Is that it, and those are detailed? Sheet 103.
I have a hard time reading myself, it's all different.
Yeah. So there's multiple copies here, actually.
There is, okay, good.
Yeah, it's like. Sets of, 3, and. Yeah, I mean, the thing I guess that I would have done a little differently was maybe have a locus on or something, like, I guess it's not really mandatory.
Yeah, to let you know where in the world that is.
Yeah,
Jenkins used to make us put a locust on the survey maps.
no. You're just showing your age, man. So what's the status of Russell? Oh, okay.
Should say it right there. Peter came into the town and was able to get into the vault evidently, and
So this
But is that this thing, this Russell Drive?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the road in and out. that's discontinued, you don't care about that, but the,
Wasn't clear originally, but now it's clear.
yeah, but this right here looks like it's out of the. Is that right away, or is that fee owned?
I was understanding it was a private road, but
Yeah, but a private road doesn't, it can be a private road, but what's the underlying ownership? Is it in the easement or out of it? I'm guessing the way it's laid out here, it's out.
That's the end for the town land.
So it's got the acreage, but I wonder what that compares to the deed.
No, it's just a right of way. He located the right of way.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. So is the easement acreage, so is the right of way in the easement and not allowed to move, is it called out? in the-
Match line.
Like what is
Goes
that
to
thing
the top of
exactly?
this one.
That could be a source of headaches in the future, like if somebody moves that around
Not
without permission.
Yeah, I think with the meets and bounds, it's a described and, that's the right
Yeah,
of way. It's been described. I mean, look how detailed it is.
yeah, so it should be excluded. Maybe not, I guess.
Have a right of way over an property.
Yeah,
As
but
long
it'll
as the
get,
easement, it's
just-
clear about it.
yeah, right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
I don't have that in front of us.
it is kind of interesting though that the line goes right through that, pump house though.
The easement line does?
Yeah. Like the front door of that pump house is outside of the easement, but the rest of the building is in it.
I wonder if that was allowed or not.
The way it's shown on the map is the way it is in the ground.
So now you almost have to digest this and figure out, how much of the stuff violated the easement or. You'd think a pump house, well, I mean, that would have to be called out.
Yeah, I think he's got a 200 protective radius per reference of Plan 7 and easement, so, yeah, it's
Hopefully it's all called out. I don't see us do anything about it. So does it.
This eastern side here, that's closer to the condos. Yeah, I'm just trying to orient myself here.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I think I know where that pump house is.
Yeah, there's like,
It's up on
there's like a
kind
little
of a
gated
hill.
road. If
Yeah,
you come down
exactly.
Russell
Yep,
Road, there's like
yep.
a little pathway, there's a gate
Yep.
here.
Where's the shore shown on this? Which,
The shoreline should be, this is south, right? No, that's south.
Shoreline's gotta be up here.
The shoreline would be like
Yeah.
over here. So it would be on-
Sure, it's gotta be at the top somewhere, on the last sheet,
is
right?
that it right there? No.
Nope, this is north.
It's gonna be,
So this is Reservoir Road here, Reservoir Drive, rather.
it'd be off map 103.
Fine. Well,
That's
you-
called road.
You can, when you're at Sandy and Days, you can look right down through it and see water.
Now, is that the old, ski tunnel?
That's off to the right, the house is off to the left down in there on top of the knoll.
Well, it's 3 of 3.
3 at 3.
I think it would if he's calling it out right over here.
342 feet of it.
This has gotta be some of it, cause this is Russell Drive and he had cabins all down in
So
there.
he said a rebar line.
I know there was an existing monumentation down here.
This is Reservoir.
I wanna say there was either one just, on the east side of the.
This is
west
Russell
side, I don't
Drive,
remember,
right?
but I know there was one existing one here. This is,
And Russell
this corner down
Drive,
here, this kind of
Coben
backs
didn't
up
have
some
any.
cottages, and
These
there
are all
was-
homes down
That was
here.
like the only
Yeah,
place in the
yeah.
whole property, in the
Yeah.
whole easement that had it. That
Yeah,
was the
that's-
location.
Yeah, that's the road to Collins Landing
Outside
here.
some
Yeah.
stone wall boundaries.
It ends right there with a gate.
And Collins Landing is closer,
Yeah.
so it's on this
Yeah.
last page. And I don't think it really shows, right? Here's Collins.
Yep.
So the water's gotta be in here, right?
It's on the second page.
Over here.
There?
It's on the
Second page.
too. It is, it's just a little tiny bit of.
Okay, wow. Good thing I'm not following that, it could be long.
So he set the monuments at 655 for the elevation. I guess that lined up. It's kind of the notes.
I was
Yeah.
there the other day and I was trying to figure out this, this, I knew that this came out to here, but I wasn't, the original map that I had, it didn't show this like right away, and that's why there's another, it says drill hole, but there's a pin there.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, no, you're right.
Rebar,
No,
yeah.
it's the other way around.
Okay. Well, let's say we finalize the contract, make sure he gets paid. I'm sure they're reputable if we find a problem during the blazing or whatever, just ask him to come back and fix it.
Yeah, there's one, I think it's actually, I think there's a pin here, project benchmark, there is one, he needs to go back out and set because the ground wasn't frozen up,
Okay.
and that's one connection.
Oh, I think I know what that is. Coming off of, Reservoir Drive. There's the one that shows the road.
I think that's the only pending motion.
Yeah, I think it's one of these out here. There's a big open wetland out here. Rather than show on that.
I thought they went out there and ended up doing that after all, in that email correspondence.
Oh, he may have.
I almost thought they got, yeah, I shut my phone off, but. In any event, I think they're ready to get paid. So we've already got the invoices in.
Yep,
I think
Beth has
Andy
them
asked
all.
them to get paid and
Yep.
that's all good to go.
Yep. And you and Andy were on that string today.
Yeah, so I think that's all set. Good. So once we find the plat and just email Forest Society and say, here it is. That's our monitoring for the year.
Okay.
Take us to court if you don't like it. Dumped a lot of money into this thing. It's like, we got a lot more easements, got these same issues. Unfortunately.
All right, so are you gonna let Beth know, or,
Yeah,
okay,
see if she can email it out to us. If she's got it.
Yeah, did she need something to say final, get paid, or was she all set? I thought, didn't Andy tell her to pay?
oh, maybe.
I thought he did on
I
those
thought he said,
emails.
got it, but maybe that was to me about
Oh,
something
yeah.
else.
I thought so. All right, we'll make sure that,
Okay, that's in
That
your
gets
court
paid.
then,
yep.
okay. All right, so, so moving ahead with summary of work in either progress or proposed, just some, in the green box, as we move down through, there's timber so there's a bunch of work coming up, or that's been delayed or behind, and so I just wanna make you guys aware of certain, line items, but we'll start with there's timber sale work that's scheduled, both at Toby Hill and Farron Pond. Some of that stuff goes back to like 17, I think 16 or 17 and 18.
Is there an FSA on those?
No, there's not.
Okay.
It's just work that's kind of in the books that hasn't been carried out. Boundary maintenance, we just did that FSA, that's the line number 2, so we're good there. invasive control for 2020. Historically, we've been just putting up, management follow-up and monitor and continued treatments on high-risk areas. So that control program is something that we routinely do each year. And it's typically been at not to exceed 5K, and we're always well under that. So that's something that you guys need to be aware of. Farron and Felch, we've stayed away from last year, so, those are two areas I think we're gonna be spending some more time on in 2020 if we do wanna move ahead with that. Town forest boundary signs, so you guys have about 30, almost 35 miles of boundary line. Of town-owned boundaries, not easements or anything like this. This isn't talking about that. So, something that I would suggest we do, because some of the boundary lines are getting past a decade old of blazing and painting that we did. What I would propose on line 4 is that with the signs we just got, if we kind of plan over time to do, maybe a third in 2020, another third, to go around and sign all of our perimeters, and as we sign them, we can look and verify like what lines really need attention, what the priority lines. It would give us some insight on moving forward on painting lines at year 10, year 11, and 12 to get all of the boundary work repainted, because that's coming up. So we got the signs, and I just thought that might be a great way to get out there in a cost-effective way, get the signs up and say, you know what, look, Farron's good for, that can be a low priority, but Felch is really high priority. We should do that first. So that's a suggestion of an activity for all the boundary miles you have. So I'm just gonna go through this, and then, if there's something you guys wanna talk about, we can revisit it. The pollinator habitat, annual eval, we like to do in June, when there's a nice blossom set, and usually the temperatures are warm, we can see what the pollinators are doing and how that seed set's doing up there. I think this year we need to pull in somebody, probably somebody, through the cooperative extension that can say, you know what, these are the next steps if you want to keep this thing alive and vigorous, because it needs maintenance, right? Like mowing and all the things that it takes to maintain a big pollinator project.
Where is this?
This is at Eastman, behind the store, the fields.
Yeah.
So, and that we like to do in June.
So question on that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what's the last thing we've got the pollinator habitat,
Mhm.
and then we've got kind of this big opening. So we ran fire through the opening probably 3-4 years ago now.
Anyway, yeah,
2015, I was on fire, I think, when it
it was 15, so 5 years.
was 15, yeah.
Yeah, I-
15 or 17, one or the other.
I'd say 17.
Maybe it was 17.
Was it that recent?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 years ago. But
Yeah, sorry, so I was in Florida, 3 years ago, on fire.
I was on the board, and I
Yeah, all right,
haven't been
so,
on since 15.
so we've got invasives in there that need to get tackled.
We've been knocking them back.
Yeah,
The
but I'm still
second
gotta
year.
go in there at them probably.
Yeah.
And then thinking about like what treatment. So if we hit it 3 years ago, it's ready this year to do something to it.
For fuel load, like for fire?
Well,
What do you-
veg growing up before it gets, depending on what's in there. If you got, if there's a fair amount of red maple, then that tends to be a problem as far as carrying fire. Or we're gonna brush hog it, whatever we're gonna do, we
Yeah.
need to be, because it's like this fine line, between hitting it either brush hog or fire or starting to lose the whole opening.
Right.
you know.
Yep.
You definitely don't want to go past 5 years.
No.
How many acres are we talking?
About 20 probably. Was it 20?
Little less than that.
12.
Yeah, 12 to 15.
20 would be a lot.
Yep. But yeah, that was our, goal this year for, what's our next management step there.
Yeah,
So,
just get it ready for
and
the.
June's a good time to do that, especially the flowers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the pollinator habitat's only an acre or so, right? Is it
Yeah,
more?
yeah, I guess spatially, if it might be an acre. It's gonna spread out. So, and then FYI, the last three are action items that we don't have to decide tonight, but it's something that you guys need to be aware of. So, all your boundary lines are gonna be requiring painting in the next year to the next 3 years. So, I just wanna make that clear, and then there's we're going on 2 years for an overdue forestry plan updates on Felch and Eastman. And then as of, this year, there's 3 more plans that expire. So, it's just some housekeeping things that I think we need to make sure we, plan for, however you guys wanna do that, but.
So we've got, so you were proposing here, I guess, to go put those town forest signs out around the boundaries and just kind of assess where they were at. I mean, does that make as much sense as just doing the paint when you're putting the signs up now and just assuming that we need the paint?
Yeah, I mean, what we like to do is, you paint. So, the perimeter run, you usually swing an axe and you can sign when you blaze, but you paint separately from the axe or
Yeah.
putting up signs, so it's not like you could go and paint and put signs up. It doesn't really, it's not a flowing, efficient thing to do. Is that what you were asking, if you could?
Oh, I mean, you could bring a hatchet with you or an axe and put signs up maybe.
Yep, yeah, I mean, you could, grab another guy and do it all at once, that's an option.
Come back and paint it.
Yep,
Probably half the wounds you might not have to do anything, but
mhm.
I guess it just depends on what
Right,
species.
that's why I was thinking, like, if we got the signs up and did sort of a priority kind of list, and at least, and we're getting our signs up and being able to evaluate, do we swing an axe, or we just paint this one, or does this one just need, this doesn't need anything for 5 years, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so our big problem on the other things is, as we've discussed before, the Board of Selectmen have been insistent on not exempting the town forester from recompeting, so we are probably, after our discussion, gonna be talking about putting out a request for proposal that will include this other stuff that
Okay.
you guys would have to answer to, and then we'll make a, selection, basically.
Okay,
So I don't think like the plans, I guess we have to discuss even, I'm not 100% clear on our guidance right now on like what we would continue to put under contract before this. I mean, I'd probably just assume fast track this thing right now for next meeting. And then I'm not sure what we would put under a new agreement right now, unfortunately. I asked the Board of Selectmen again, that this whole thing is not really time well spent for me, I don't think, or maybe for the other board members. There are other professions that are exempt from the town's purchasing policy, but there was a refusal to do that for town forester. So, yeah, we got hauled in, was that end of December, I guess, to the board meeting? Kind of short notice to discuss this. So the town attorneys, almost the exact same request for proposals last time around, same drill.
December, it must have been November, wasn't it?
No, it was-
Early
no.
December?
No, it was,
December.
yeah, it was
Early
December,
December, wasn't it, though?
yeah.
Because we didn't meet.
are some some
I
positions,
think it was a week after our last meeting,
Yeah.
Okay.
because they were gonna try and make it.
We didn't
like a
meet
joint.
Christmas week. It had to be the week
But whatever,
before that.
Whatever it
Yeah,
was,
whatever it
yeah,
was.
anyhow, so because it kind of languished for a while, and then they sent it to Laura Spector, town attorney, she only had one minor change, so it's all set to go. So we'll put it up, obviously we'll let you know, and we'll put it out for, whatever period we decide, and I just assume tackle this next meeting if folks are amenable to that. I mean,
Is there any reason we can't do it tonight?
that's what I wanna do.
Yeah.
But we have to put it out for public notice.
Yes,
And then make the selection next meeting.
yes, would be all for that.
Is alarm going on?
Huh?
Somebody, CAG's alarm going on?
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
Drive my Prius.
So, so I don't know what, besides like the boundary maintenance, we would really put under a new agreement, at least tonight, pending that. And hopefully we can get that out of the way and then, press on with whatever.
Okay.
Obviously I'm constrained on, what we can and can't do.
Yep.
Because of that.
Sure. Yep, okay. So we'll just hold off on the hourly and the invasive thing at this point?
Yeah, I think we should hold off on everything except for, wrapping up Collins Ledge
Yep.
right now. I don't know what you guys feel like, if that's prudent.
Say that again?
I'm suggesting that any of these new projects that we hold off, except for wrapping up Collins Ledge that we just signed.
Yep.
Send this thing out,
Yes.
get the proposals back, it's
Yep.
a best value for next meeting,
Mhm.
and move on.
Tell you something I would like to do. I know it's expensive, or it has an expense, but, get on a selectmen's meeting, and I would certainly volunteer to go in. And ask Jeremy to go in and explain just what he's up to. And get them to perhaps better understand why you're asking what you're asking. And I really think that it would be fairly easy to sway that board to, I don't think they have a clear understanding of what the management plan consists of, and you can't just bounce from one business to another and expect it to even begin to
Yeah, we've tried to convey that a couple times. I mean, if you wanna go that route, the other thing I was thinking is I don't know how much the board select, like who's running for the new board and how much all that's gonna
You know,
change.
I think that,
No.
I think I'd be pretty confident that if things were explained as well as they were tonight,
Yeah.
that they would have they would have a very hard time not doing the same thing that they're doing for themselves.
Sounds good to me. What do you guys think?
Yep. Well, that's,
Um,
And I would just as soon do it as soon as possible.
okay, so you got the lead on that? You good with that? You understand what he's saying?
Yeah, we don't have an FSA for this year for hourly to do that.
Oh, we can sign that.
Okay. All right.
That's fine.
Saturday night, you might be able to get them in next Monday.
I'll talk to Naomi tonight.
I mean, the whole thing is absurd, in my opinion.
I'll have Naomi contact you and they'll contact the
It was
board.
a little bit of a head scratcher for me when I heard about it.
It's a town purchasing policy. This discussion's been going on for a while. There are a couple professions that are exempted, attorney, engineer. And you guys are on the same level as that. I mean, that's the thing they're just not getting. Our profession is continuity in professional services and management direction are really important. It's a really long-term thing, I mean, and, try to articulate that. So I don't know how much of I just don't know what each individual's feeling is, and, they don't have understanding necessarily of our profession that well. So Bill's probably right. It might be good to hear it from somebody else.
Jeremy, one of the things that I would ask at that meeting is, can you show us the benefit of, even say the, pollinator program. How can somebody, if we hired a new company in 2 months, how could they have any clue what our, where we are in that project? What,
Just for example.
do you have a gauge of how this program has gone? Is it working? You talked about getting the UNH cooperative in and whatnot. And then other things on the forests. Where are we with, we'll just say Felch Farm or Woods? How long before you would go back in on the Woods property and the cuts that you just did? How many more steps are there to getting that forest up to speed? To, not really a comfort level, but I'm kind of thinking that they're not, it takes many steps before you're going to get a piece like that that's been cut pretty heavily through the years and whatnot, back into a real managed forest.
Right.
You took step one this past fall. What is step two? If you could have information like that, so that you could go in and say, how can I get John Q to come in and have any clear understanding of what has happened over the last 5 years?
Yeah, right.
You kind of can't do it. I don't know how a human being could do that. To go in, short of spending a ton of money, to go in and evaluate each piece, where you've had an ongoing evaluation, you have a plan and process, and that would be, if I speak, that's what I'm gonna try and get the point across to the selectmen, that it isn't something I can just, you can just ask somebody else to walk in and take over.
Or just even if you were put in that position that you were the new, you won a bid and you weren't working, whereas your first time working in where Woods is just cut and now you're asked to continue that project, what it would take for you stepping in without doing the previous work and having an understanding of the area, you know, there's gonna be a cost to that. You already have that knowledge. You don't.
Oh, yeah.
That's not going to cost money.
Sure, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, we're growing, it's tree time, you know, we're growing forests and, you know, we've been lucky enough to be here for over a decade, and all the institutional knowledge that we have on all the lands and acreages and then the management, you know, activities we've scheduled because of the data we've collected and the lands we've studied, and we've made, you know, architectural sort of we've architectured all this management planning, and we've carried out a tremendous amount of it.
This is what you need to come in and tell the
And,
selectmen.
you know, and that's like Bill was saying, you know, it's the first step in tree time, you know, you're growing trees for 100 years and, you know, it's our first decade, and you start switching management, and a lot of the things we've been working on
It gets lost.
will be lost or changed and at a pivot, and and so, you know, I don't know if they, you know, being sort of, I'm not really a third party guy to be up there, you know, trying to make an argument. I don't know how receptive they'll be to.
Well, I think that what I would do is perhaps ask you some questions, just so that you could very professionally answer. And I think the best question I heard tonight is, what if you have to go in and go over a piece that you've never done? You have no knowledge of it. You're going in green. It's had a management plan in there for the past 10 years. What steps over and above what you are doing for us would you have to do to get to start managing that piece of property?
Start from square one.
It's a boatload of work. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it is.
You know?
Definitely is.
And I think almost more so than an engineer, because an engineered plan is a very,
Details.
very detailed plan that is in place, and it
And it's close-ended, you know?
Yes.
There's a start and finish to it. project starts and
Oh.
ends.
I think that, I'll have Naomi notify the board and when we can get on there and, unless you'd like to do that, Steve, however.
I feel like I might have a personality problem, actually. I'm a little too short with this board.
Yeah, no, I
I'm not amused.
have good luck with the board on anything I've ever asked, but I think that it's silly right now doing what we're doing.
I think it's ridiculous,
I
I've
didn't
articulated
think that until the last meeting at the selectmen.
I mean, it'd be one thing if you guys were disappointed or felt like overcharged, or I was really upsetting your neighbors and the community and making bad decisions. You know, I think that would be a justifiable thing to start shopping around.
Yeah, I really struggle with it, because, you know, many years ago, but, you know, we've got a couple problems. Nobody can find the signed original contract. You know, Fred was the town administrator at the time. He said, you know, his interpretation was we weren't bound by the town purchasing policies. This board was, you know, different interpretations, no win in that argument.
Well, we
I
got
just
one,
think, what's the
I think
beginning?
we got one vote.
Yeah. But,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I'd probably give you a thumbs up.
I mean, I even asked the question, could we do a petition warrant article? And apparently, it wouldn't bind on this case, oddly enough.
I think that it would be an easy decision, but they have to be educated.
Yep.
And I've listened to you guys go on about your forest products, you know, forestry plans and high grade, low grade, but if you describe right now things that are going on in the industry of, the chip business is pretty much defunct. So you're on cutting edge right now, learning how to manage, take what you've got and make it work for us. You know what you had for plans and you have to alter it, and then it's management. And, I think we'd come out of that meeting all set. I
So-
really do.
I would make the suggestion, if you can get in there next meeting, great. We might wanna consider having this thing ready to go and still just pick a time frame in case that doesn't work.
Yep.
Cause I don't wanna lose the
Absolutely,
field season.
absolutely. Let's not go backwards, let's.
Yeah, well, I would say within the next couple of weeks it could happen, I would think,
Is there, what do you need tonight, Steve,
except,
other than us to,
Well, when we talk about review this, I mean, I still think this is like besides the
Yeah.
FSA, that we can do an hourly, do you have an hourly one with you?
I've got an hourly one, it includes the invasive species, so.
Why don't we just send a different hourly one so we're all covered, and we'll just scratch out invasives on it and I'll
Sure,
sign it right
okay.
now. If everybody's good with that, just so we're covered on that.
I'm supposed to say anything?
Naomi will know, but. So I don't know if 1 week will be better than the other, but she'll surely know.
You know, I think it ought to just happen, it ain't gonna take long.
So it's just work fee.
Yep. You wanna make a motion to sign the hourly one to cover us for now? That's,
Make a motion for Steve to sign the hourly FSA that he's got in front of him,
out of the town forest account.
out of the town forest account.
A second.
Okay, all in favor? Actually, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Steal your pen, Sherry. Can I steal your pen?
sure.
Thank you.
A real good example is, you know, all these lands are up for a 1 decade of planning. We did a comprehensive big master plan. And, what's that?
You got a second one?
Yeah. And so now they need to have updates. Whereas somebody coming in, I would think, not knowing the land, they would default to a pretty thorough resource review and, you know, and,
Or we might get some
It's
cookie
starting
cutter.
from scratch every time, let's.
Yeah.
right?
And-
Right.
And that would be the worst thing that could happen, is go in and hack it down and we'll start out from scratch, and that's pretty
No,
poor
we've worked too
management.
hard for that to happen.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, I'll just sign that second copy and then we'll have a copy and Jeremy will have a copy.
All right,
So if you guys can arrange that, Bill, if you can go direct with Jeremy,
Yep.
see if it
Yep.
applies. Today is the 8th, right?
Is there a need to get like, do you want a county forester to come too, to be sort of a
No.
third party, just to,
I don't
okay,
think it's
we'll
necessary.
keep it all internal, okay? Yep. Yeah, it's a new young kid, Hall,
The other guy left pretty quick, right?
Ethan, he was teaching at T-School,
Was he?
left for good reason. Yeah, he's running a T-School program, from what I understand. All right, anything else from me, or,
No, that's it.
okay,
So Bill will get with you guys and then,
yep, Bill's got my email, and,
if we fire that thing off, we'll let you know. That'll be pretty short turnaround.
I just had one quick question. With the
Yeah.
Toby Hill and Farron Pond work, is that delayed for any reason?
yeah, no, it's just in our plan, and, you know, we try to push things out so we don't pile up so much work. I mean, last year, there was a tremendous amount of work, and I just didn't think we wanna pile up, you know, that level of work. You
Yep.
wanna spread out your revenues and forestry work, and Toby, I think we need a good seed set, so we wanna make sure we got the right species pushing nuts or cones at the right time when we're there, so,
Jeremy,
yeah.
you just struck a funny bone with me. Just shooting from the hip, how big a piece of your pie is the Ware conservation work? Meaning, you will live whether you're working for us or not. I'm assuming that we're a very small part of your business, and you don't, where, a concern we could have is we could get someone in here that, it's their only gig, and they're gonna do just what you said you're not doing, which is just flood us with work. You spread out your work. You're a couple of years behind on some things because there was so much work going on, and you understand our funding and budgets and whatnot.
Sure.
So, what I'm asking you is, and I don't need exact, but are we 5% of your total work? Are we 1%?
I would say, you know, you're an important client that, that we have, you know, a relationship with, of doing a lot of work over the years, and you look at, over that time, that's how I'd look at it. I wouldn't pick any one year, I'd sort of look at
Yep.
across the board. I would say, just shooting from the hip, 3,000 acre client roughly. You know, we have 80,000 acre land base we manage. So I'd put it in the acreage bucket,
Okay.
whatever that is,
4%.
4%.
Yep.
So, but you could make a lot of work happen with
I
your
mean-
land base, no doubt about it, quick.
I mean, the thing I've been impressed by over the years is the responsiveness, working with the town of Fort Cummings, which this is one of them. You know, like freaking payments, fiascos, and, you know, I could go on and on. So, I mean, you guys have been really good to us. That means a lot to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's relationships, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't like you, we'd have got rid of you.
yeah, right. Oh, that's why I'm still around.
Seriously, you know. No, I mean, you're good to work with.
Yeah.
Professional, knowledgeable, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
All those things,
we
well
enjoy it. It
spoken.
means a lot,
Yeah.
you know, we really enjoy helping out a public resource like this, and, we don't take it lightly. We're very serious about it and enjoy what we do.
And gone above and beyond a lot of different, public events
Yeah.
hosted here on town land. Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good, so hopefully, Bill, you're successful. I will probably stay away from that one. see how you make out with it.
Now, I'm gonna ask this as that the conservation board is gonna come in.
You want us in?
Well, I think it should be as many people on the board as possible.
You gotta post it as a joint meeting then.
I'll be sitting right over there.
Yeah.
I won't-
I'll just ask her however she wants to do it, but I think if the more of us that are there, even if you don't say anything,
Yeah.
the stronger, I think the perception will be,
Yeah,
one person shows up, and that board didn't much care for what they were asking for.
right.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we've already asked twice or 3 times now.
Yeah, the last meeting was kinda a joke.
Mm.
It was really a waste of our time.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that it just, I mean, this
I
was
don't
sent
think
in
any,
August.
I don't think any studying got done until 2 minutes before that meeting.
No, I know.
And,
I know.
I think, I've had very good luck with that board, asking for different things that I would be asking for. And, I really think this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do
But
too.
I really think that we gotta get in there and explain why, and I think that if at least half of us are there, it would be a good thing.
But you gotta run it post it as a joint meeting.
However, it's gotta be, I'm just gonna ask my darling wife to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
No,
A great visual aid, we could bring in our filing cabinet and just show the level of records and resource we have on this town
yeah.
and all the work we've done, and when that changes hands, it's
gone.
often worthless to the next person, because they don't do the same system, they don't,
Yeah, all Bob Todd's old stuff.
we still have archives of that too, we could bring
Yeah.
all that in.
Yeah, I'll give you a great, I just changed jobs.
I'll bring in a dolly with boxes.
You did
on it.
change jobs?
I'm back with Knoxville Equipment now.
Oh, yeah,
Saw the truck out there. Saw the truck.
Yeah.
I need a new Mahindra.
And, I walk in and there's years of records there that are just nothing to me.
Right.
And service bulletins, and that's probably it's virtually impossible to
Yeah,
go
people
backwards.
orient, yeah, and people work differently and organize differently, and what my note means to me is
Not what
nothing
it's-
to you, 'cause,
Right.
Yep,
yeah.
yep, so I.
Well, I'm happy to put in whatever time,
Yep.
you guys want.
All right,
Sounds good.
thanks, Jeremy.
Yep, thank you.
And so is it Monday nights?
It's Monday nights and I'll have Naomi,
Okay.
make contact.
Yeah, only 'cause it's budget season right now. It might not be this Monday, it might end up being a Monday off or
As
vice
quick as we
versa,
can.
but, yeah.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I think we gotta get it in sooner than later. Oh, yeah, there's 3 copies there. Do you wanna email him, ask him what fucking page it is, or I can email him? Alright, cool. Or plat number, sorry, it's not fucking page, it's plat number. Yeah, they'll get a plan number, or, plan number. Awesome.
You guys have a nice evening, and
Thanks. Too.
you guys have a place for the rest of these plants?
Downstairs in the basement, I guess.
Corner.
Stuff them in somewhere.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Go right in that file cabinet we were just
$20,000
talking
piece of
about.
paper, we'll just put it in there.
Well, it doesn't
Well,
matter
you
if it's
can-
on,
You can have one
It's
that,
online, yeah, you're right.
that's all that matters.
we'll use one for the field,
Yep, and then,
one for the records,
Yeah,
so you can have that one. Sound good?
as long as it's online, that's all that really matters.
As long as it's what?
Online. The only one that matters is the filed one. The survey that's not filed doesn't matter as much.
Point.
Yeah,
It's just a piece of paper.
yeah. Exactly.
Then again, that original plan that was done when they subdivided that easement, that was all a waste of money and time and paper too, so.
Yeah.
'Cause that was never actually, it was never actually, they came up with a paper plat, but they never actually did any work on the ground, right? That was the issue.
Exactly.
We have that problem with some other stuff too.
There's a lot of that out there,
There is.
and how these guys are licensed, and I don't know how that works.
Well, the problem is, like, subdivision gets accepted by the planning board and it says to be set. And then the developer doesn't pay the surveyor to go back and set it. Whose problem is that, It's not the surveyor's problem. But they gave him the approval and it got filed. I think you can't do that anymore in Ware.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but we know of at least one problem going on, you know, that they haven't been set yet.
All right, folks, well.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to see y'all.
Thank
Chairman.
Yeah,
Have a good night.
Yep, thanks.
So,
Bye,
let's just pass these out. One minor change from, the original draft, highlighted and struck. It just has to do with the, availability of funding. Laura just changed the language, which I don't see any problem with it. So, I guess, this whole thing would be contingent now upon what happens to that.
Mhm.
So do we,
What, Steve, I would suggest, or my idea would be, let's see how soon we can get on this meeting. If it could happen within a week, it's gonna be less than a week if it's within a week. And there's no need of this, then it wouldn't go out. But if it doesn't work out by Tuesday of next week, then we'll get it out there.
well, here's what we do though. I'm just thinking a little bit differently. They're gonna give you the meeting. You know, so we get the meeting, it's gonna be a joint meeting. So if we're you know, we can just say, all right, you guys aren't gonna let us do it in that joint meeting, let's just act on this.
Yeah, yep.
So we can fire it off
Yep.
right then.
Now, does that have, how does that happen? Through the town administrator type thing, or?
We gotta go back and look at the purchasing rules, but I mean, so this is gonna be a best value. It's, I'm not sure if there's any minimal amount of time.
But you know what's really stupid is that this is agreement, it will be for a term of 5 years. You're gonna bring somebody in for 5 years, say if they brought somebody in new for 5 years, they're not even, hardly get their feet wet, and they could be switched out again.
Yeah, that's because of, what's his name there? Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I know, I mean, that's why we got the extra, because remember they were talking about 7, and then, you know, I got the extra 5 in there.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, a decade's not a real long time in terms of forestry.
no. No,
And I think that I think you're getting pretty good value for what you're getting right now. And I think it, in more than one way. He has so much other properties that he's managing that he can get us more bang for the buck on certain pieces where he's harvesting in Hopkinton
and he can move
that
right on towards
abuts where, and he can use the same crew,
that
same.
area. Yeah, the other
And
day.
the
Yeah.
setup costs aren't there, the road costs aren't there,
Right.
there aren't many that are gonna have those connections with locals.
yeah, just a good forester all around, you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he has a huge, he's the biggest property owner in Ware. So their forest,
We are.
well, okay. Yeah, you know, when you can mix something in, you certainly get.
I agree.
Yep, yep.
Hopefully you can, arm wrestle the rest of the board. Good deal. So, I don't think there's I think this thing's pretty well ready to go, based on Laura's change, no other issues. So we'll hang on to that. Do we have minutes from last meeting?
I
didn't
sent
see
a
any.
draft to Andy, I don't know where it went from
I
there.
didn't see
I don't
any.
have 'em. All right, so we don't have to deal with minutes. We've got, this has to go downstairs. We had just quickly hit the correspondence. PLC sent us something about they would be monitoring Breed, Burke, Eastman, Chevy Hill, but then they didn't really say much of anything else. A nice little letter from them and a card from, Haley Nace, Stewardship Coordinator. We've got, from DES, we have a notification on that Chuck Street. They're given a wetlands permit. So, think we've already reviewed that, just the correspondence, so there is an actual permit. This is just bill that goes with that. Here's the forestry agreement for the file. Here's the other one for the file. Okay, then we've got, couple planning board items. We had a note from, an email from Mike Dahlberg to Kelly saying, based on our comments on the Remillard condominium thing, the CC missed the point on the plans. We are not revising the approved site plans in any way. This is for phasing only. All the comments were addressed during the initial 6-month approval process. We will not be addressing any of the comments as they are not pertinent to the application at hand. So. That's that. I don't know if we need to keep that for any reason. Then we've got 3 things from, I guess, plans from the planning board. Something going on Tiffany Hill. You already reviewed the plan, said L lot, separate plan required than the J lot, something or other. I can't read that.
Our lot, separate plan required than the 2-lot side. Is this Tiffany doing this?
Yeah, so we already looked at that?
Yeah, we did.
All right, so no comment?
I don't have any comment with it. I don't know if Bill wants to look at it.
Oh, yeah,
Lot line
no.
adjustment.
Oh, yep.
We don't need to do anything with that. So just put, you got a pen, you wanna write no comment on it?
No what problem?
No comment?
No comment.
Yeah, just no comment.
On this paper here?
Yeah, I guess so. Alpha Self Storage, 407 North Stark Highway, says, stormwater management. M file?
We talked about that one last meeting, and there was just questions of whether it was gonna be paved and whether it was, where the, there was a septic, there was a concern on
Is
that.
this the one going up the hill?
Going up, I think
The-
it's the
the
one on
golf course?
77, isn't it? On, excuse me, 114, the old golf course. Is that the one?
Going up toward the high school?
Nope, right out behind Lonnie Beans.
Yeah, going up toward the high school.
Yeah, towards the high school, yeah, yeah.
And what was he gonna be doing on this?
So they're putting in the, storage buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, just-
there was just a couple questions.
You remember, I think I wasn't at that meeting.
Yeah, I saw that one.
You already
I
saw
think
that, so do
Andy
we
had
have any
pointed
more?
out-
We reviewed that.
So no additional
No
comments?
comment.
Okay, and then, Ware Church change of use? Ware Christian Church, 10 Concord Stage Road. Please find application for change of use of property at 325 to 327 North Stark Highway. Its present use is an automotive garage and 3-unit apartment building. We would like to change it. It's used to a multi-purpose ministry building and office meeting building. Thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, you know where that is, right? Right over by the river,
Just before Reservoir Road.
just before Reservoir Drive. the house caught on fire.
Oh, yeah.
They went for auction.
They bought that at the last auction.
That was an automotive garage?
The metal building was,
Oh.
which that should have never gone in next to the river.
Oh, wasn't the building the town was using?
The town was using it, yep.
We used it for a short time
Yeah.
while they were finishing up the
The new building.
highway department.
Yep.
But it got sold this fall, and the church bought it.
Oh, okay.
It'll be better if they put a pool on it. They did
I
it.
think it's a wonderful use.
I assume we don't have any comment on that.
No.
Okay. So we'll stick these back in Kelly's box. Hey, so the one thing that we didn't hear anything on, how were our proposed warrant articles received by the Board of Selectmen?
I haven't seen them yet.
Well, we emailed them in.
Yeah, I didn't see them though. They will probably bring them down this week.
Okay, I'll just make sure that
I'll add that. to
something
the list.
happens, yeah. Then we had, if anybody wants to see the Drinking Water Bureau newsletter, supply lines. I guess we'll see, that can go in the recycling bin. Yeah, anything else?
Steve, I grabbed some stuff this week from here. I'm just gonna start kind of studying it, but, there is most likely gonna be some activity up on, I'll call it, what is it, Duck Pond
Duck
or?
Pond.
Oh,
Right
sure.
right up the top of the hill, well, part up the hill anyway. Yeah.
And, just food for thought for the board. Before the activity starts, I'm gonna suggest that our forester get a handle and possibly even do blazing or whatever we can do to get as good a definition of what property is what before the equipment goes to work.
Nothing's been set. You're in the same boat. Getting no way of dealing with that. Absolutely nothing's been set. Ridiculous that ever got conveyed without monumentation.
Yeah, I was told the houses were gonna go in and this was all the way around the back of the houses were all, it was all gonna be
I mean,
under
there's-
easement.
It was horrible.
That's what I was told. I don't know. I haven't been up
So it's
in
worse
there.
than that. It's actually quite worse than that.
Yeah,
So they actually included in the open space the backs of people's yards with restrictions on them.
that's crazy. Who's
Horror
gonna-
show.
Who wants
They
to
can
buy
mow,
that?
they can mow once or twice a year.
That was like the other
I
one.
know
No,
law.
this is it's different. than that.
Different?
Yeah.
And it would not, oh, it's the same thing. Whose
That's the map, that's a
responsibility
lousy
is it
map, I'm
to
trying to get a better one.
get the
So every
property
one of
boundaries
these
set?
lots
Yeah.
come
It's the
around.
Who's gonna pay for
And
that?
this is,
Yeah, contract.
and this
I mean,
is
the
their
developer.
back,
Well, no, this is
But are they
conservation.
going to do
well,
that
that's all
though?
They
conservation.
have to,
There's
yeah.
conservation over here, and there's conservation over here,
Oh.
and I think conservation over in here.
Yeah.
But, I guess I'd like to get a clear understanding of what really is going on there, and then,
Nothing's been set. It's my understanding.
Yeah, wow.
the potential for a disaster is big.
We haven't even handled that other mess yet.
Well, that other
Now,
map,
Portland? That's a,
it's supposedly the same, very good chance the same operator is gonna be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we kept hearing that the, when they can take care of it, you know?
I don't know.
I've heard there's been a lot of issues down there.
In any event, I think, I would just like us to into anything we could possibly do before. Maybe petition the planning board to do something different to,
They won't do anything,
well,
because it's already approved.
because, I mean, if there's a plan like that in place,
Do you have a copy of an updated plan, the planning board?
No,
yeah.
that's on file in the registry of deeds.
The other thing I wanna know is how much of that can actually happen without.
Oh, is it finished?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, isn't it 5 houses a year?
No, how many phases has
Oh, they go,
fell into that deal where they had to have X amount of progress, or they lost the development. Not lost the development, but lost the current development. And we have
No,
to-
so the rules are, once the substantive
Right, but
improvement,
I
so they
don't
put the
know.
road in.
They put the road in, but I think it's only on one phase.
So is the town willing to go after them? and
I don't
say
know.
no? Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we should put some efforts forward to find out what is happening, what can happen, and if it does phase two has to be vamped with current rules, that we make certain that the current rules, I think things are already in place now. Anything after a year or so ago has to have
Yeah,
monuments blazing and whatnot, but
yeah,
I
that was
think
what
that,
discussed, yeah.
I really think that we should ask for some blazing. Well, I wanna read the restrictions, but just right off quick, there's no cutting, there's no earth moving, there's no anything on the easement. And
So it's not an easement, we own it.
ownership, yeah,
We can do whatever we want, we can blaze it, the problem is the monuments aren't there.
right, but even if we miss it by 50 feet, we'd be way ahead of the game.
You can't. You're talking house lots in there. This thing is so screwed up, it's unbelievable.
so what do we own here? What does it,
Everything that
We've got
says
the big
where
plans
conservation.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything
So-
that says what?
I think it's like
All of
this
this,
big piece.
this piece here, and
I
here?
think there's something up there maybe.
Yeah, there's some pieces.
But the backs of these lots are restricted, I think. This is too small to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Have to
that
get a
was, I
bigger.
just got that tonight.
I think it's
Yeah,
downstairs.
A bigger, better map, and I'm
Look at
gonna
it.
just read through the
Yeah,
study,
so we
but-
own, we actually, so they've already transferred the property to us. So we own it outright, and then they've got these restrictions on backsides of the bunch of lots, which is absolutely absurd. And, I don't think any of that's monumented though. I'm not aware of it being monumented.
I'm just saying that I think we should, before it happens again, is there anything we can do?
And we have to have it surveyed?
No, we don't. It should be part of the, cause the thing that the contractor, just like this other contractor, I mean, all the backs of all those lots, I mean, that's a common shared boundary, that's all, was approved with, I think it'll say to be said on the actual plat. Yeah, I don't know,
What-
that's another
what
good
is-
planning board
What
question.
is different on this is it's ownership,
Yeah, some of it.
right? So it is, if there's a plan and you own that property, somehow there's gotta be a way of determining what's yours.
Right, so right now, you could, I'm just saying, I wouldn't spend the money on it because they're on the hook to do it, you'd be doing them a huge favor.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't spend the $100,000 to lay that whole thing out,
Yeah.
property's not worth it.
So before they really start going at it, I mean, the planning board, can't they just tell them that they have to have nothing?
Same issue,
Same issue as down there.
yeah, ridiculous. We really need to find out, those houses are, most of them are up, most of them are sold, like,
Yeah.
what's the status of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the selectmen haven't done anything for
It
us.
still
and then
isn't
we brought it up.
It still isn't a town road.
Yeah, so that was what they said, they had to hold over their heads. Right, it's just that.
That was certainly part of it, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I just happened to go through the day they were paving, it didn't look to me, I thought they were supposed to be putting down a couple inches for the base pavement.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like they were putting any 2 inches down to me, and I was driving by and I was in a stop-and-go traffic, it was slow, because they were right out by the edge of the road, and it didn't look like it was 2 inches.
Doesn't the engineer go look at that
The
still?
engineer,
They got an engineer, but
the
I mean,
engineer's,
we
have-
the
know.
engineer's right there on site,
Our engineer?
our engineer.
our engineers, but I'm just
Yeah.
curious if it's truly 2 inches. I'd love to know.
Yeah, I think that,
I
you'll
don't
probably find he did core samples and
Yeah, I hope so.
Ian has the city here before they can top coat and before the town will take it anyway.
Yep, good point.
But I just would like to see us do something forward rather than sit
After
back
the
and take it in
fact.
the rear end afterwards, you know, if there's anything you can do.
Yeah, we're already there though, you know, we're already,
Probably
yeah,
already
we
there,
brought that up.
Yeah.
Even though it's,
I guess can drop, email to Craig and ask him what he's thinking, how we're gonna handle that. Although they seem like they just kinda wash their hands of the other one.
I don't know.
I think Selectman's the only one that can really do anything about it, really, you know, as far as,
I've brought it up a couple times, but
no, we should ask that question. Maybe during that meeting.
Maybe not this meeting.
Maybe schedule another one.
I'll bring it up after the fact. I get-
Yeah, that's true.
I don't wanna,
Yeah. Well, you guys, wanna get out
Good
of
to
here?
adjourn, if anybody else is, I'd make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we're done at, like 8:44. Good deal.